Velocity, morning, peace, and blessings. All right, so getting into the Stambhana planetary series or whatnot, in Vedic astrology, Stambhana pretty much means when the planet becomes frozen due to a certain conjunction with another planet, right? So it's frozen, it's inactive. The functions of this planet or what this planet is trying to achieve or aiming to reach are frozen, or stopped, stilled, if you want to call it. Not completely, but that's just a nickname that they give for it, and whatnot from the Vedic side or whatnot. But yeah, get into it, right? We're gonna start off with Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is Stambhana in Vedic astrology. Jupiter becomes Stambhana when it's conjunct the Sun, and exactly why do the qualities of Jupiter get frozen when it's with the Sun? Jupiter is aiming for God union, right? Jupiter is the guru, Jupiter is the priest, the preacher, he's the philosopher, he is the one, he's the sage. He's the yogi. He is the one who's aspiring for self-realization, union with God, the higher reality. Jupiter doesn't care for the worldly affairs. He doesn't care for the maniacal. He doesn't care for, what I'm saying, the illusions of duality. You feel me? Your taxes or whatever you got going on. You feel me? He's concerned with the truth, ultimate truth, right? And having faith in that regardless of what the physical manifest reality picture shows to you, right? And when Jupiter comes into contact with the Sun by conjunction, you feel me? This it still produces great qualities. You know what I'm saying? But what makes it Stambhana is that the Sun is very worldly, right? The Sun is the king. The Sun is the one who is the leader. The Sun is responsible for the lives of thousands and millions of people, excuse me, that reside within the kingdom or whatever, right? The Sun, his consciousness or his mindset is pretty much always centered towards the external. Like even when the king going to sleep, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Probably has certain anxieties or thoughts on the forefront of his brain, like, oh, this peace treaty with this neighboring country, or the possibility of going to war, or certain forms of chaos that might be going on within the kingdom. It's like the king might lose a great deal of sleep or might always be busy or might always be whatever, but ultimately his focus is for the most part focused on the external worldly affair, maintaining the affairs of the kingdom, making sure, you know what I'm saying, the lives of his citizens are balanced in that peace or whatnot, right? And for Jupiter, this is kind of what gets it to freeze or to feel like it's frozen, to feel like it's Stambana, right? You know what I'm saying? The good side of this conjunction, you know what I'm saying? It can showcase an individual that's inherently dharmic. So this is an inherently spiritual individual. This is a person who has morals. This is a person who has, a righteous persona about themselves. They can have prophetic like qualities. You know what I'm saying? They can be dharmic. What else? Naturally spiritual, naturally intuitive, naturally wise, natural sages. They can be natural preachers. They can be people who embody a great deal of light within themselves, right? Embody a great ability to give counsel or to give direction and knowledge to those around them and whatnot, right? Natural leaders as well, you know what I'm saying? This can showcase a combination of an individual who held a high office within a previous lifetime, whether that would be an actual king or whether that would be a preacher or a priest or whatever you want to call it, right? This can showcase an individual who can be quite jovial or have a light-hearted comedic side to them. What else? This can showcase an individual who can have or can attain great levels of wealth as well, and can be generous, can be very giving, can be very providing. Natural providers. You know what I'm saying? Have the natural ability to take care of those around them. So it's great on a lot of fronts. It's not Jupiter is not just going to have zero good effect when this combination takes place. You know what I'm saying? It has a lot of great factors. Lord Krishna had this combination in his chart. He had Jupiter and Sun conjunct in the fourth house of Leo and whatnot, right? So yeah, and Lord Krishna was God in the flesh, himself, right? So yeah, it provides a lot of great qualities, but some of the downsides of this conjunction, it can lead to the overinflation of one's identity, right? It can lead to egotistical qualities and concepts within the self that make it difficult. Not nigga said difficult. That make it difficult for Jupiter to perform its desire, which is going beyond physical limitations and going beyond duality and getting to the higher God source reality. Not to say that it's impossible, it just makes it difficult, right? When Jupiter and the Sun become conjunct, the person becomes overly conscious of the self. You know what I'm saying? Disrespects, ranking systems and leadership, like, status, Sudra versus a Vaishya or versus a Kshatriya, Brahmin, or you know what I'm saying, versus a person who six figures, seven figures, or a person only make five figures or whatever. You know what I'm saying, or the homeless. You know what I'm saying. If a person has a high degree of ownership or a high degree of status, the Sun Jupiter can showcase that. You know what I'm saying? They can develop a great deal of arrogance around that, and it can make it difficult to really connect to the truer, deeper purposes of Jupiter, the truer and deeper purposes of life and expansion into higher reality. Kanye West has this conjunction within his chart as well. You know what I'm saying? He has it in Taurus from Vedically, right? And Kanye West, was a billionaire at one point, multi-millionaire now. I don't know if he's a billionaire again or whatnot. And we know Kanye to be a very arrogant personality, right? We know Kanye to be an extremely, you know, arrogant. Not to say that he's a bad guy. He just thinks extremely high of himself and whatnot. And he shows it openly and whatnot, right? But, this also can lead to a lot of internal suffering due to the magnitude and the intensity of the ego, you know what I'm saying? And one's inability to drop it and, you feel me, seek that inner God or to seek that which is beyond, if you want to call it, right? Track, what else was I saying? Sun, Jupiter, Stambhana. It performs differently, of course, based on the sign position, the house position, you feel me, and all that. But what I see to be of an importance as well is the who's leading by degree. So if Sun is ahead of Jupiter in degree, what I usually see in this particular conjunction when Sun is ahead, this can reflect the situation of like Lord Indra, becoming so arrogant that he thought he didn't necessarily need the counsel of Brihaspati, right? He didn't need the counsel of his guru. You feel me? He became so arrogant, so situated within his own power and his own sense of self. He disrespected his guru, and his guru was like, you know what? Since you think you know it all, since you think you're so big and bad, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave you alone and I'm gonna go about my way. You could do this shit yourself and whatnot. And once that happened, once Indra ascended that level of pride, he pretty much, I forget exactly how the story go, but he pretty much had a hard time, right? A very hard time for him, due to his pride. And like they say, pride comes right before the downfall or whatnot. So with the Sun being ahead of the Jupiter, it can showcase individuals who you can have a lot of success in the early life. You can have, reputation, you can have the status, you can have the easy gains, you know what I'm saying? Wealth naturally attracts to you. You can even attract, you know what I'm saying, like I don't know, celebrity type positions or whatever, or positions of leadership and all of that and whatnot. It all can pretty much just like you do the work to get there, but it's just like a natural flow. It's just like a natural grace that's bestowed upon you and whatnot, right? It's not like you have to put too much effort or fight for it. It's just a position that, is blissfully granted upon you or whatnot, right? So you can attain this type of position, whatever field it may be in, early on in your life, you know what I'm saying, within your youth or whatnot, or, your 20s, or, even into your 30s, whatever you want to call it. But usually what happens is the ego becomes overinflated, and the grace of Guru, the grace of God, withdraws from you from a bit. And then you have to face some harsh lessons. You have to, face some deeply humbling lessons. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through some shit that really, serves to correct your psyche and to correct your overinflated perception of self and whatnot, right? And, it's up to you, the individual, as to whether you can experience and learn those lessons for what they are and heal from that, or if you just, ride the up and down waves of the ego and whatnot, and just still be on your ego shit or whatever the fuck you're gonna do, right? But when Jupiter is leading in this conjunction, it's somewhat of the opposite. So it's like Jupiter is leading, you can see an individual that might suffer in the beginning. So they might experience, the humiliation. They might experience, what I'm saying, things that serve to weaken the intensity and the overinflation of the ego within the early life and whatnot, right? Things and events and experiences that seek to purify that. You know what I'm saying? That can be quite harsh. That can be quite, that can be feeling like they're disrespectful. Sun Jupiter combination. These are people that are very big on respect, very big on respect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, very very much so big on respect or whatever. But when Jupiter is ahead, it can showcase an individual that, yeah, they have some real tough, strenuous ego lessons within the beginning. And it don't necessarily always have to be tough. It depends on the sign that it's placed in. If it's placed in a sign like Cancer, you know what I'm saying, you're still going to experience those lessons. But since Jupiter is exalted, you know what I'm saying, and since it's such a soft sign, you will experience it in a much more comfortable situation. Whereas if it's in Capricorn, then yeah, you're going to get that work. You know what I'm saying? But either way, you get the lessons in the beginning, and this leads to the soul growth. This leads to the true sense of the identity, which is inner, which is with God. This can lead to the individual understanding nothing externally or nothing outside of the self is the one that deems your self-worth or your self-respect. You know what I'm saying? This reality isn't necessarily real or the truth or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And we're all one with God, and all of the distinctions for pride, respect, ego, status, leadership, all of these different distinctions for the sun, and even all of the different distinctions for Jupiter aren't dependent upon external reality. It's really about the internal reality, who you are, or how do you feel you are within yourself, and you know, aligning properly within yourself to make that ascension, or to fill those voids within yourself, to make that union, to make that God contact, to make that self realization, to not even make it, but to see it as it's already there, right? But yes, Sun Jupiter. What else can I say about a Sun Jupiter combination? Yeah, people who could be like prophets. These are people who can say things sometimes, and the things can come true. You know what I'm saying? They have a bit ability of manifestation over reality, and whatnot. It can be like priests, can be root workers, can be people who are to serve as natural healers and natural philanthropists or whatever. They have a natural degree of generosity about themselves, naturally jovial. You feel me? Naturally trustable as well. You know what I'm saying? Sun, Jupiter, they can have crooked habits, but it can't really be full on criminalistic crooked and evil motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see a person with Sun Jupiter, like even Kanye, you feel me? Kanye, I guess if you want to call him Illuminati celebrity or whatever, but he still kind of has the reputation for bucking against the system. You know what I'm saying? Having a certain air of righteousness, or a certain air of speaking out against the demonic principalities of Hollywood, and you feel me? All of the sex trafficking and all of the uh under the surface demonic practices that, you feel me, they hide from the public and whatnot, right? uh yeah. Even Blueface has this conjunction, you feel me? Yeah, this nigga, you know, he cheat on his bitches or whatever, you know, he make the type of music that he make. But you know, if you listen to the nigga talk, you will see him sometimes in arguments, like you know, he was talking to his mother one time. It's like, yeah, he can be disrespectful, he got it in Capricorn, right? But it's like at the same time he has a great air of wisdom, you feel me, telling the truth as it is, and really trying to be that philosopher, or really trying to be that guy who is, you know, taking the high road in his conversation at the same time, even with Jupiter being debilitated in Capricorn conjunct the sun or whatnot. So it's like you can't really just be a complete evil motherfucker with this conjunction. This is the conjunction of godliness. I seen this on another YouTube channel. I can't remember the guy's name, but I'm gonna shout you out anyway. You know what I'm saying? And thought, you feel me? He said like Sun Jupiter is like this is the conjunction to where individuals are like the ambassadors of God. You know what I'm saying? Like the agents of God, if you want. You know what I'm saying? Sent down to humanity to bring, you know, balance and restorations to the world, to lead people back to God and whatnot, right? And I would agree with that for sure. But yeah, that's all I got for this conjunction. Velocity.